Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're checking out all the Resident Evil Collector Edition figures. So first up, we had the Resident Evil 2 Remake Collector's Edition, which came out in 2019. Next up, we had the Resident Evil 3 Remake, which was 2020. And we had the Resident Evil Village, which came out in 2021. And of course, we have the newest Resident Evil 4 Remake in 2023. So yeah, these are currently all the collector editions for all the main Resident Evil games. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video, and let's get into it. Okay, so first up, I just want to give you guys a look at the packaging, just in case you guys want to check it out. So of course we have the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, and Village. As you can see, the packaging is pretty similar for all of the figures. We have this plain design for this box with the name of the game on the front, and down here we have the main collector's edition box. So this is Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, which are pretty similar, and I think the Village box looks a lot different compared to the others. Okay, so let's take a look at the figures. So let me just give you guys an overview of all the figures before we take a close-up. So this is the RE2 Remake Leon S. Kennedy. It's a pretty nice figure, although I don't think the paint job is quite as good as, say, the Chris figure. I mean, this is a pretty old figure, it's from 2019, so the paint job isn't quite as good. Next up we have the RE3 Remake, Jill Valentine. It's a pretty nice figure, although I don't think the paint job is that great on this figure as well. I don't know, just the skin tone seems way too bright, it's way too pale. Like, I mean, look how tanned Leon is compared to Jill. It's just, you know, a little bit too much, but it's still a nice figure overall. Next up here we have the Resident Evil Village, Chris Redfield. And yeah, the figure is very nice. I would say this is probably the best figure out of the four. It's just got the best head sculpt, the best paints, and probably the best texturing on the clothing. And last up here we have the most recent Resident Evil 4 Remake, Leon S. Kennedy, which is my all-time favorite character and probably my all-time favorite design for any Resident Evil character out there. Okay, so let's begin with the RE2 Remake, Leon. I mean, look at the head sculpt. It's a very nice sculpt. I do think he's got quite a nice resemblance to how he looked in the game, but I just think the main issue with this figure is the paint job. The paint is just so thick and there's no depth to the face. If they did a better paint job, I think this figure would almost be perfect. But I mean, for what it is, it's a pretty nice figure, considering this is the first figure that started off all these collector's editions. And here we have a look at the hairpiece, with all the nice strands of hair sculpted in there. You can see his eyes are painted blue, his eyebrows are sculpted and painted in there. He's even got like some gloss on the lips, which looks pretty nice. And here we have the hand holding the pistol and the flashlights, which both are removable. You can take them out of the hand. And over here we have the RPD, the Raccoon City Police Department's emblem on the shoulder, which is sculpted onto the figure itself, so it cannot be taken off. Down here we have the elbow pads, all the body armor on the figure. And moving down here to the waist, we have the belt with all these items. So we have the pair of handcuffs, we have the radio in the back with the wire which goes all the way up here. It's a very, very nice detail. And I think this can be taken out. I'll double check in a moment. But over here we have more of these pouches, all these straps, belts and buckles. Look at the texturing here on the trouser piece. It looks pretty realistic. And here we have the knee pads, a very nice matte finish, which I really appreciate all the different type of textures on this figure. We even have the laces sculpted into the boots. You know, it's very, very nice subtle details. And down here we have the base with the name plaque on the front, Leon S. Kennedy, in a very nice kind of gold kind of color scheme. It's very, very shiny. And there's a look at the base itself with the RPD logo. Moving on here we have Jill Valentine. So I would say the head sculpt is much better on the Jill Valentine compared to, say, this Leon. But as I mentioned before, I just think the paint is the main issue. She looks way too pale, which is my issue with this figure. It just doesn't look right. So yeah, you can see all the detailing in her face, like all the eyebrows, all the eyelashes painted in there. I think her eyes are painted like a greenish type of blue. And she has some gloss on the lips. And we have the hairpiece here at the side. I really love the voice actress for the RE3 remake, Nicole Tompkins. You know, she's actually got a YouTube channel which I've watched all of her Resident Evil Let's Plays, which is super entertaining. Yeah, she does a voice for Jill Valentine. A very, very good actress. And we have some type of necklace sculpted onto the chest, which is sculpted directly onto the figure, so you cannot remove it. And we have the flashlight sculpted onto the belt, even down here to the shirts. And you can see all the buttons sculpted in there. It's very nice subtle detail. And we have the pouch here to hold the magazines for the pistol. Even down to the hand holding the pistol itself, which the pistol can be removed from the hand. So yeah, you can take it out. And down here we have more of these pouches at the belts. And I think we even have like a tiny little radio, which I think Carlos gives to her inside the subway. We have the trousers with all these nice details, all the folds and creases sculpted in there. It's very intricate detailing. And we have the boots with the laces sculpted in there. And down here we have the name plaque for the character, Jill Valentine, on the Raccoon City Police Department logo. So that is a look at the Jill Valentine. Next up, we have my personal favorites. So this is Chris Redfield from Resident Evil Village. You can see the beard and all the stubble sculpted in there. It's just very nice detailing, pretty realistic. And I think his eyes are painted almost like green, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of hard to see. But right here we have the hairpiece. I mean, look at the hair sculpting here. Very, very nice. And moving down here to the body piece of the figure, we have this long black trench coat. I mean, just look at the texturing on the jacket piece. You can almost imagine what this type of texture would feel like. Almost like a rough wool texture, which I think is very realistic. And down here we have the hand holding the pistol. It's even got like a silencer, and I think like a red dot laser sights, which is a pretty cool detail. And of course the pistol can be removed from the hand. And here's a look at the other hand with the glove. Very, very nice. Moving down here to the trousers. Once again, all these creases, all the nice texturing. And down here we have the boots and the emblem of the character on the front, Chris Redfield, in a nice gold plaque. And the symbol of the wolf on the display base. And last up here, we have the newest Resident Evil Collector's Edition figure. So this is Leon S. Kennedy from the RE4 remake. I would say the head sculpt is a lot better compared to the RE2 remake. It just looks a lot more sharp in terms of sculpting, and the paint job is a lot more natural. I do think they've added a bit too much shading around the face. You can see he's got some like dark shading around the eyes, around the cheeks, even like the forehead, which I think looks a bit strange. I don't think it looks that great. He looks a bit like, I don't know, almost zombified. The hair is pretty nicely done. You can see all the strands of hair sculpted in there. And then I think his eyes are painted, I think they're painted blue. So that's a look at the head sculpts. And moving down here to the main body of the figure itself. And as you can see, he's holding the shotgun, which can be removed. It can be taken out of the hands. And same goes for the pistol at the side here. And this is a look at the jacket piece. This super iconic brown fur leather jackets, which is such a cool design. I mean, just check out all the detailing here, like all the texturing. I personally think this is probably the best texturing out of all of these figures. It just looks so realistic. Even at the side here, we have all these pouches to hold the magazines, which I think is a very nice detail. I'm pretty sure this is based off the in-game model from Resident Evil 4. I'm pretty sure actually all of these figures are based off the actual in-game model for the character, if I'm not mistaken. They're probably like, I don't know, like 3D printed or something, and then mass-produced. It's just what I assume anyhow. But yeah, here's a look at the boots with the laces. And down here we have the name of the character, Leon S. Kennedy, once again in a nice gold plaque. And we have a base with a tree design on the top. And so here's the back of the figures. And so once again, let me just give you guys an overview of the entire figures. So I love the design of this RE2 Remake Leon with the RPD logo in the back. It looks very, very cool. And here we have the back of the Jill Valentine, with all these pouches in the back here. And here we have the back of Chris Redfield's. It's a very, very simple design. Really not much going on here. And the back of the RE4 Remake Leon. And look at the sculpting here. I'm really, really impressed. It looks like it's almost got like a gloss over the hairpiece to make it look shiny, which I think is pretty cool. And moving down here to the body armor with the RPD bulletproof vests. Very, very cool. It's even got like some texturing, as you can see, like this type of clothing texture. And this is the radio. The wire goes all the way up here to the front. More of these pouches at the sides. They've just included so much detailing. So many, intricate details that you may not otherwise see in the game. And here's a look at the boots in the back of the display base. So that is the Leon from the back. And here we have the Jill Valentine from the back. We have a nice look at the hair and all the sculpting in there. And moving down here, we have this, I'm actually not sure what this is called, like some type of chest, like vest or pouch, whatever. I'm really not sure what the name is specifically, but it's to hold the pistol and some spare magazines. Pretty cool. And here we have the belts with all of these pouches, which of course cannot be opened up. They're only sculpted onto the figure and cannot be removed. And here's the back of the trouser piece. All these nice details. All these realistic textures in the clothing. And moving down here to the boots and the display base. And moving on to the next figure, so we have the Chris Redfield. And here's a look at the black jacket piece. Such a simple design, but I don't know, it works so well for the character from Village. Makes him seem a bit more mysterious, a bit more, a bit more shady, if you will. There's the back of the leg piece and the back of the base. And last up, we have the Resident Evil 4 Remake Leon. So this is how he looks from the back, and this is the brown leather jackets. I just love this jacket so much. I don't know, it looks super comfy, super cozy. But I just love the detailing here, like all the textures. I think this is probably one of the best texturing that I've seen on any, mass-produced collector's edition figure out there. I'm just really impressed with what they've done here. And moving down here, all these pouches, we have the pistol, the holster, and all the detailing in the trouser piece, and the back of the boots and the base. And so I just wanted to give you guys a super quick look at how the figures look without the display bases. So I don't know if it's just me, but I personally think the figures look way better without the bases. I just think maybe the bases are a bit too big, a bit too bulky. They take up way too much space, and I just think like this, it just perfectly showcases the figure by itself, which I think looks way, way better. And I think, they could have made much better bases. So for the moment, this is how I like to display the figures. So I would say if you guys are a big fan of Resident Evil, then you're gonna love any one of these editions. But if you had to choose which one to pick, I would definitely recommend the Resident Evil Village or the Resident Evil 4 Remake Collector's Editions. I just think these two are definitely the best out of the lots. But I mean, you would still be happy with the originals, the Resident Evil 2 or the Resident Evil 3 remakes. So I would just say pick them up now while you can and don't miss out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all these reviews. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.